Let's see if we can find the stream. Hopefully it's up and running at least. Might be taking its sweet time. There it is. There's the America Open Series. Audio is working as well, and let's do one more check on something else. Alright, cool. So, the stream's up and the chat is up, and we're all good to go. Fantastic indeed. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to round 10 of the America Open Series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm K1997, your lead commentator for this event, and this time we are racing at the Silverstone Circuit for the British Grand Prix, also known as the birthplace of Formula One, which took place back in 1950. Formerly used as a air base for the Royal Air Force, has now been converted into the racetrack that we see today. Of course, it has gone through many different configurations, but of course with this sort of layout, it's a 3.661 mile racetrack, which consists of 18 corners and 2 DRS zones. One DRS zone that leads down the exits of, that's K-Money for whatever reasons here, the fear of the randoms. The exit of Aintree, turn 5, that leads down the Wellington Straight towards left field of turn number 6, and then the second DRS zone is at the exit of turn 14 that leads onto the Hangar Straight that leads into Stowe Corner, turn 15. Now, over the previous times I have raced and commentated here around Silverstone, it's usually a very tight and compacted sort of race. Usually qualifying is really close, and usually the racing is close here as well. So we might see a lot of DRS trains that will be forming around here at Silverstone. I wouldn't be totally surprised by that. And of course with qualifying, like I mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised either qualifying would be close. It has been in the previous times I've commentated in race here, of course. But also some hazard areas to look out for as well around Silverstone. For example, turns 4 and 5 I feel can be a bit tricky on traction as well with these cars, and especially left field turn 7. It's very tricky to get around that corner with these traction limited cars. It definitely can ease the back end out a little bit. And then of course Copse Corner turn 9. It's usually a very, very fast corner in the dry, but in the wet it's usually a very big handful. So it looks like for this excuse me, at least for this session, the drivers will not have to deal with any sort of conditions. It's dry all throughout from what it looks like here in qualifying. And then, of course, the famous Maggots and Beckett section of turns 10 to 13, well, turn 14, excuse me, that leads on to Chapel. Pretty much is very much a very fast chicane, very fast S section, I should say. So yeah, the drivers will have to be mindful of that as well, especially with track limits as well. It can be very easy to get a warning if you cut too much. Stowe Corner, of course, is very easy to run wide and get a track limit penalty for extending track limits. So the drivers will have to be mindful of that. Now, before we go fully focused into qualifying, there is some news to go through first from the previous race in Australia. There were 2 incidents that were reported, but only 2 of them were both of them were reported as no further action. The first one was a penalty that was getting removed by Black Ball, who he was attempting to get his penalty removed, but unfortunately, for his sake, he did not get that penalty removed, so the penalty has been warranted. And the second one involved Blockman and Jacob. Actually, we caught a bit of that on stream on the last lap. That was also reported as no further action by the stewards, so everything that happened has remained unchanged. So, looking at the Drivers' Championship, Blockman is leading the way on 181 points, followed by Jacob in second with 162 points. 19 points separating those two. That's Tom in third with 145 points, 36 behind Blockman. Now, the interesting part about this race is that if you notice on the screen, 9 of these drivers are racing tonight. So it's going to be a little bit of an opportunity for some drivers to catch up in the championship. The next guy who actually would be closest to them in the championship is Verdes. He is in 4th with 130 points. He's 51 points behind Blockman. So if he can win this race, he definitely can get back into this championship fight. In 5th is Black Bowler with 104, followed by Nico in 6th, who is not racing tonight as well, with 99 points. And Take It Easy in 7th with 70. Insane Sparry in 8th with 68. Subfalime in 9th with 64. And Surf rounds it off with 10 points. The Constructors' Championship, Alpine still lead the way on 239 points, followed by Haas in 2nd with 219. McLaren are in 3rd with 209 points, followed by Red Bull, Red Bull Racing with 186 points, followed by AlphaTauri in 5th with 129. Williams are in 6th with 113. Ferrari are in 7th with 96. Aston Martin are in 8th with 79. Mercedes are 9th with 71, and Alfa Romeo rounds it off with only 57 points. Now that we've got that all sorted out, we can now pay our attention to qualifying. So we do have some times on the board, as you can see. Rebel is currently the top time right now with a 1 minute 28.214. Then it's followed by Surf in 2nd with a 128.659. Roden in 3rd, with a 129.2. Then is Style Harmony with a 130.6. Then it's Laquito, who was taking over for Blockman, as Verdes goes to the top with a 127.6. Very quick lap time indeed by Verdes. Laquito, as I mentioned, has a 130.7, and then Flavius is the next car with a time of 131.7. Let's see. We don't need the tire graphic, of course. Silly me. It's all soft tires. See here, Thompson's on a flying lap as we speak. The Kiwi just making his way through the first sector. Black Buller is coming around the foul. Couple of corners as well to the Vale chicane, and then up towards Club. We'll see what time he can set on the board. He will set a 128.552, only good enough for 3rd quickest overall. Then it's Motion Golf falling behind with a 1 minute 29.051 as... Why did he retire on track? Oh, dearie me. Hello, Ferrari. I think that was Professor Phil that was coming through, or was that Take It Easy? No, that was Take It Easy. Why did Motion Golf retire on track after doing a lap? I don't understand that. Well, that's really screwed Take It Easy's lap. And, yeah, it's really screwed it up, big time. That's something you're obviously not allowed to do, is retire on track, especially during a quality session when everyone's doing their laps. It's not really sportsmanlike. That's the yellow flags for one of the McLarens getting out of the way. That would be Flavius just getting out of the way. Sergeant Bill, meanwhile, is making his way down the hangar straight up towards Stowe Corner. He's down to 6th gear, hug the inside apex. Gets around there very nicely done. As speaking of Professor Phil, he goes 5th fastest with a 128.769. Sergeant Bill will cross the start-finish line. We'll set a 129.222. Good enough for only 7th place, at least for now. Let's see here, Bumpton coming through Luffield, now through Woodcut, and this is where the old pitch straight used to be. This little bit of the racetrack. And now heading up towards Woodcut. What's funny though is that corner actually used to be the first corner when there used to be the older layouts around Silverstone. The Maggots and Beckett's were like the first 5 corners, or 4 corners I think it was. Yeah, when there used to be the older layout around here. Bumpton making his way through the middle sector. He's a little bit... well, he's purple apparently, according to the mini-map. Shafiq's done a time of a 1 minute 30.2. Sharky's done a 130.3. Bumpton, meanwhile, though, in the Williams, he's also reserved for Nico. Also, I haven't mentioned yet, Youngling, you may notice in the Red Bull, he's a full-time driver now in the Red Bull. Bumpton will cross the start-finish line, will set a 128 flats, puts himself into 2nd. Not too bad indeed. Jan Tuki, well, he's on an outlap as we speak. As I mentioned, Youngling's on an outlap right now. Subfalime as well is on a outlap as well. Well, I'll tell you what, since Jan Tuki is literally the closest driver on track to a lap, we'll take advantage of him then and give you a lap guide around the Silverstone, this historic Silverstone Circuit. As he makes his way around Club Corner and makes his way onto the Hamilton Straight. As the clock now begins. Down the Hamilton Straight, up towards the first corner of Abbey. Very quick flick to the right, then a quick flick to the left through Farm. And now into to Village, hard on the brakes, brings down the third, up to fourth on the exit of turn 3. Now into the loop of turn 4. Keeps it in fourth gear on the exit around turn 5 of Aintree, opens the DRS, and heads up towards now Brooklands of turn 6. Peak speed, 201 miles per hour as he reaches into the braking zone. Down to third on the exit, and then short shifts up to fourth, and then fifth gear around Lovefield in the mid-apex of Lovefield. Heads through Woodcut now, up towards turn 8. Now it's a Copse Corner, the very fast right-hander of turn 9. Use the outside curve, flick the car in, down to 7th gear, uses the outside curve on the exit, very nicely done actually, look, from Jan Tukey. Now it's in Maggots and Beckett's, down to 7th, hugs its first apex, hugs the second apex, hugs the third apex, very nicely done. Through Chapel, now opens DRS, we'll head up towards now Stowe Corner. Again, the DRS wide open, heads up towards Stowe, peak speed, 202, just peaking 202, down to 6th gear, sorry. Up around Stowe, uses the outside curve on the exit. Now it's up towards Vale, hard on the brakes, down to third, up to fourth, up to 5th gear to find traction as much as he can. Around Club, up to the line, we'll set a 129.360. That's only good enough for at least 11th at the moment. Rebel, he's making his way up to the first sector. He's got some cars in front. He's found a chunk of time actually as well. He's found half a second, as a matter of fact, through the first sector. But he's got a Red Bull in front. Hopefully he'll get out of the way. I think that would be either Youngley. No, that is there it is. Youngley just came across the line, did a 127.7. So that's only good enough for P2, at least for him. Rebel coming out of Copse now heads up towards the fast chicanes of the Maggots, or the fast S's of Maggots and Beckett's. Heads around there, very nicely done. Clock says for Rebel, he is up by just over 6.5 tenths. So with that sort of improvement, he could definitely go his way into, probably into the mid to low 27s, if he can keep this lap clean. Heads up towards now the Vale chicane. 4th gear. 5th gear, again, try and find traction as much as he can. Round Club, up to the line. It's a 27.220. Wow, that's a really big improvement, so I'll say. He improved by just about a second on that lap. That's very impressive. I will say that. Bunsen, he's on an out lap as we speak. Black ball is going quite slowly. He's validated his lap from what it looked like. Roden. No, it's not pushing, I don't think. Sergeant Bill, excuse me, Sergeant Bill is up by over a tenth. Another block, man. Very surprised that you're not racing tonight as well. But I guess you should be okay, at least to be in front of everyone in the championships, considering that your other rivals aren't racing at all. Alright, Sergeant Bill making his way up towards Copse. Flicks the car in, nicely done. Uses the outside curve there at the exit of Copse. Now heads up towards Maggots and Beckett's. Through there, very nicely. The first apex, second apex, and the third apex. Very nicely done by Sergeant Bill. The clock says he is up by just nearly 5.5 tenths to the middle sector as we speak. Heads up towards now the Stowe Corner. Down to 6. Modulates the throttle. Gets through there, very nicely done there at the exit of Stowe. Now heads up towards Vale chicane. Brings it down to 2nd, short shifts up to 3rd, and then short shifts up to 4th. Of course, to find the traction as much as he can. Around Club, we'll set a 128.562, and that also means that someone else, I think, just got into that. But who was that just came across the line? I think there was a Haas that came across the line. Yeah, it was Lil Mick. He did a 128.158. Not too bad indeed. Bumpton, meanwhile, coming up to the first sector. He is down by about nearly 60 thousandths to the first sector. He's currently sitting in 4th with a 1 minute 28.018 as he makes his way around Lovefield. Up towards now Woodcut and now into Copse Corner. Let's see, what kind of peak speed does Bumpton have as he reaches towards Cups? Peak speed 190, about 196, but he keeps it in 8th. Doesn't bother shifting down to 7th, like I've seen from the other drivers. Through Maggots and Beckett's, through turn 10, 11, 12, 13, and now into turn 14. That opens the DR, so there's a spinning car as well. That's a spinning Ferrari. I'm guessing that would be Professor Phil, I think, as Bumpton makes his way around Stowe. And he's also low on fuel as well, I could tell from the flashing icon on his dash. There's more yellow flags out again, looking like for the Haas of Lil Mick. Bumpton crosses the line, will settle 27.859. Puts himself, goodness me, I can't speak. Keeps himself in 4th at least. But still a huge margin though between Rebel and Veritas. A very huge margin indeed. Interesting enough. Surf. He's up by nearly 2.5 tenths to the first sector. To the middle sector he is, he's lost a chunk. He's actually now only up by 72 thousandths. So he's lost about, what, maybe a tenth and a half of the middle sector, I think. As he makes his way through Stowe, up towards now the Vale chicane. Hard on the brakes, slam on the brakes, down to 2nd. Short shifts up to 3rd and keeps in a 3rd. Doesn't bother short shifting like I've seen from other drivers. He only improves by just over a tenth, and he improves to a 1:28.526. About 2.5 minutes left here in qualifying as well. Spire meanwhile occupying 11th with a 28.9. Rafika, let's see, he's not on the laps. Sharky was, but he's invalidated. His flying lap. So far, we've only got the top 4 that's occupying the 27s on and the fastest right now is that man on screen with a 1:27.220. Just laying some cars through, of course. Coming out as well. Take her easy. Looks like he'll be getting ready. No, I think he's on a preparation lap from what it looks like. He's still got plenty of battery and plenty of fuel. Surf, I think his let's see, is he pushing? No, he's not. He's down by 7 tenths. So yeah, that's gonna be his qualifying obviously done. With a minute and a half left, especially how long this pit lane is. Yeah, you're not gonna have enough time to get back out. More yellow flags there. That's just for cars just shuffling around at that's at Cop's corner from what it looks. Alright. These are the 2 guys that are going to be fighting for pole, I reckon. And we got also Yanley and Bumpton. They could try to challenge for pole, but it's going to be a bit of a tall task, though. They got Rebel right now occupying by that pole position time by nearly 4 tenths to Veritas. Let's see what happens here. Minute on the clock. And away goes Veritas to start his final flying lap. Up towards Abbey. Now it's a farm. Keeps it flat and doesn't bother lifting at all. Down to 4th, down to 3rd. Through the village, then short shifts on the exit. Now brings it down to 3rd gear. Up towards the loop. Short shifts again to find traction at the exit of the loop. And it's up towards Aintree and down the Wellington straight. And he heads up to the first sector split. What will the clock say for him? Clock says he's up by 62 thousandths, and Rebel, meanwhile, is up by only 21 thousandths to the first sector. Youngling is making his way up to the first sector as well, right behind. Bumpton, though, is not going to try to challenge for pole, so his qualifying is officially done. Youngling, up to the first sector split, says he is up by 10 thousandths to the first. Veritas, meanwhile, is making its way up towards now Maggots and Beckett's. Gets through there pretty nicely done there, looks like. Maybe missed the apex just a slight. Clock says now he's up by a tenth and a half. He's found a good chunk of time. How about Rebel? Only 49 thousandths he's up. Veritas making his way up towards Stowe. Flicks the car in. Oh, might have missed the apex just a little bit there at Stowe. I might have cost him time. Let's see what he does here through the Vale chicane. He's got a couple more corners to negotiate. Short shifting the gears. Up towards the line comes the Red Bull across the line. Oh, it's only good enough for second fastest. A 1:27.3. Rebel doesn't improve at all. What about Youngling? He's up by over a tenth of a second. Black Buller goes to 5th with a 128.0. Lil Mick stays in, pretty much where he is in 6th from what it looks like, I think. Yunling coming around the final corner, up to the line, stays 3rd fastest. A 127.421. Actually, no, Lil Mick is up by 2.5 tenths. He could definitely get 5th, maybe 4th. Let's see. Round club. To the line. It's only good enough for 4th fastest. A 127.781. Nice lap indeed by Lil Mick. Sub for line, meanwhile, goes up to 7th with 28.3. Take her easy. 8th place. Professor Phil in 9th at Surf. Rounds it off with a 10. And that's qualifying over. Red Bull is on pole position here, folks. Well, it looks like he's keeping his form from pole positions in Australia. Last week he got it at... oh, and Flavius has got a 10-place grid penalty for this BS. Yeah, for blocking. Yeah, because the AI cars are so bunched up, and the game is so stupid enough that they give Flavius a 5-place grid penalty. So that means he gets demoted from 12th to 17th. I love this game. But yeah, no, I was saying is that Red Bull, after getting pole on the Tuesday side of things, well, he gets pole today. And by a good amount as well. A 10th.5 separating between himself and Veritas. Yunley in 3rd, followed by Lil Mick. Then it's Bumpton, Black Bull, Sub for Lime, Take Her Easy, Surf, Sergeant Bill, Flavius Sparty, Motion God, Roden, Yantuki, Sharky, Stall Army, Laquito, and Rafika. Rounds it all off. And I just got a weather report actually a little while ago that I just saw. Sparty has told me that the weather report is dry as well all the way. So, like we saw, qualifying was dry, and now it's going to be dry for the race. Alright, well, race time here at Silverstone. Yep, a little bit of clouds, but I mean, doesn't look threatening. Doesn't look like, just not going to be a typical British sort of weather where it's just, you know, it has a little bit of rain here and there. I mean, if you're in Wales, it would be more relevant to it, if I'm totally honest. Alright, so got the clock up. We got the pit lane crews T-posing. And yeah, all's good, I guess. We'll just wait and see what tires everybody starts on, of course. Alright, clock strikes down. Let's see what happens. Alright. Will we see a fair mix? Or is everyone going to be on the sole top, on the one dominant tire? Well, let's see. Oh, okay. That's honestly not what I expected, but that's, yeah, okay. So, the majority of the field are on medium compound tires, not hard tires. I was expecting more on hards, if I'm totally honest. But okay. Now, Rebel is going to start the way on the mediums. Verdes, who's behind him, will start on the hard tire. Young Lane is at 3rd, he'll be on the mediums. Lil Mick at 4th on hards. Then it's from Bumpton, Black Buller, Sub for Lime, Take Her Easy, Professor Phil, and Surf. They are on the medium tires from about 5th to about 10th. Then it's Sergeant Bill in 11th, who's on the hards. Sparty in 12th is on the mediums. Oshigat as well as on the mediums. Roden on the hards at 14th. Yantuki in 15th on medium tires. Sharky in 16th on hards. Flavius, who got a stupid 5-place grid penalty as Sharky is spun. And reverses back out. Hopefully you'll get going again. Nice little spin there, Sharky. No, like I was going to mention, Flavius had a 5-place grid penalty thanks to a stupid AI, the AI stupidity. during qualifying after it was all over, where they were all bunched up. Of course, that's a thing as well. Just gonna say, if that ever happens, you might want to just go into the pit lane and retire. Or just hope that there's no cars around you. So you avoid that penalty. Star Harmony is in 18th. He's on the hards. Laquio's in 19th on the medium. Same with Rafika in 20th. Got a full grid tonight. Very nice. Got a few reserves. A little bit late called out, but I mean, still, it's not bad overall. So that means, let's see, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers on hards and 14 on mediums, as Rebels got disqualified for not parking correctly. I don't think we'll need the tire graphic then. So, yeah, I think we should be alright with that. We just gotta keep in mind there's only 6 drivers, including Verdes, who's in seconds. He is on the hard compound tire. What on earth are these camera angles? I swear to the gods. Codemasters literally are rubbish. Well, I think the lights are up. We've got 10 red lights for the British Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go here at Silverstone. Nice start there, looks like, from both Red Bulls. Nice start from Red Bull as well, as they make their way up towards the first corner. Youngling getting past his teammate, thanks to the medium compound tires. Carnage to the... Oh, a huge smash! Young Tuki's out of the race. Rodin and Sharky have got involved. Rafika's also got involved as well. Motion gonna stumble down the order. He's up to the gravel trap. And there's a few other cars that have gone off as well. And we've got a a safety car. A full course safety car has been deployed. Well, that didn't take long for a safety car to come out, now did it? Thank you again for the pit strategy. Lap 12 to 16. For mean hearts, keep in mind of that. I gotta keep in mind of that, I should say. Well, Yansuki unfortunately getting the worst out of it all. A lot of cars, a lot of debris. Didn't even last after Abby. He was all done. Out of the race, just like that after the first couple of turns. Well, I mean, no reason to red flag the race. I mean, at least it won't be like what we saw from last night's race. That's Australia in real life. Alright, so yeah, safety car's out. That means everyone will bunch all up again, and of course we will have to get going on a rolling start this time. Yeah, just curious to know what on earth happened, no. Like, how all that carnage unfolded. Did someone maybe might have lost it, or what? Well, a lot of cars are going in the pits. Rodin and Rafika and Sharky. That's not a total surprise, as I did see those 3 get involved in whatever happened. Oh, what's happened to Sergeant Bill? Why has he lost places? He's down to 16th, apparently. Made a mistake, I guess, over at Club or something? I don't know. Front wing changes for Rafika, front wing change for Sharky, and a front wing change for Rodin. And they have bolted on hot tires for Rafika and mediums for Sharky and Rodin. So yeah, yeah, that was a very interesting start to this race. I mean, we didn't even get to the first sector and we had a big car. I mean, we saw that last year. I mean, with last year's British Grand Prix at the start. George Russell, Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly, Zhou Guanyu, especially Zhou Guanyu when he went into the catch fence up towards like the middle part of Abbey and Farm. Well, safety car is out there. Hello there, Aston Martin safety car. So now we just gotta wait until the 3 cars behind will catch up to the field. We should get going then by the end of lap 3, I probably will say. So that's when the field should be all bunched up. So even with this sort of track, the safety car periods do take a little bit long. I know it's 3.6 miles, but yeah, with the track like this length, it does take a bit of a time for the safety car to go around, of course. Alrighty. I see Blotman in the Discords mentioned that he's guaranteeing a win for Rebel. Well, we'll wait and see. We've got 26 laps to go. Well, we got 26 laps to cover. We've only done about 3 laps, at least so far. Yeah, Blotman is correct. That's what I was mentioning. I was just mentioning that too. I didn't see what he said, but yeah, it was looking like it was like from last year's Silverstone race. All right, well, what is? Oh, Rafika apparently has spun. He's getting going again. I'm not sure what he did there at Cops or Woodcut, not Cops, at Woodcut. I've got no idea what just happened there. Well, anyways, caught up to the field now. The rest of the guys have caught up. So the safety car will come in. Alright, so Rebel will now be the de facto safety car. He's got 2 Red Bulls behind of Youngling and Veritas. I think those guys realistically will be the closest ones, I reckon, to fight against Rebel. But we'll have to wait and see, of course. Alright, here we go. Vale rounds, Rebel rounds goes around Vale, round club, and we're back under green once again here at Silverstone. Everyone's getting through relatively fine. No spins from what I can see. Someone's got caught sleeping. That was Sparty there in the Mercedes. Look at the gap. Already, oh dearie me, and Moshe got a spun and has destroyed his front wing. He'll have to go into the pits and get that fixed and do an entire lap. Well, so much for that bit. Rebel though hanging on at least 6/10 of the margin between himself and Youngling after the first few corners. Youngling in second, followed by Veritas and Lil Mick, who's doing pretty decent as well. Bumpton right now in 5th, the Kiwi, and Black Bull in 6th. Let's take her easy, Professor Phil, Surf, and Sparty. Like I mentioned, he also got caught sleeping. Oh, look at the gap he's got between himself and Surf. 2.5 seconds. Jeez, that's quite massive. That is very, very massive. Oh, Veritas is also out of DRS range. If we do get to DRS in the next couple of laps, that's Rafika already gets a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. That's a 1.2 second margin between Youngling and Veritas. Of course, Veritas is on the hard tire. He's the leading driver on the hard tires as well. Oh, and that's a huge moment there from Youngling. The car just snapped on him there at turn 15 at Stowe. Manages to catch it well, at least, to his fair credit. Rebel sets fastest lap with a 31.0. Lap Bull right on the back of Bumpton to make their way up towards Abbey and to Farm. Oh, and running wide there. That was a little Mick. I think that might be a warning there. If he might have had 4 wheels over that white line. To make their way around the loop. And then onto Aintree and onto the Wellington Straight. Yeah, you can see Rebel's already building up a gap. He's nearly got a second margin to Youngling. Black Bull not close enough, and here comes the Aston Martin. Oh, I thought the Aston Martin serve was going to go for a move. Wasn't really close enough to do anything against Professor Phil. Now, the one thing you don't want to do hang on a minute, Young Lean also has closed up massively. The gap was 1 second, he's closed up half a second. Rebel must have made a mistake somewhere, as I'm gonna guess he did it at left field. Well, with that little mistake, he's now brought Young Lean back into this picture. Of course, there's no DRS. Like I mentioned, that'll be enabled in the next lap. Bumpton trying to close up on the house of Lil Mick. He's about 3/10 behind. Don't want to really do anything just quite yet. Not until DRS is enabled. Don't want to do anything silly. Got at least a long, long race ahead of us. They make their way around the club corner as DRS is enabled. So, Yanli needs to get within that DRS range. He's about 9/10 behind. And I think he has just done that. The DRS detection zone, I think, if I remember correctly, is at the entry of the village corner. Rebel had a bit of a moment as well. He's lost 2/10. DRS enabled for the Red Bull to try to close up. At least try to get close enough to Rebel to fight him. But his teammate, meanwhile, Verdes, is going to lose a bit of time because of the DRS that his teammate's got in front. Meanwhile, the Sparty overtaking Sub for Lime. The two admins are side by side. Heading up towards now left field. Sub for Lime though has the inside line. Sparty on the outside line. Two gives in, doesn't look in, one's giving in. Still close between the two cars as they make their way up towards now Cop's corner. Sub for Lime though gets in front. Just before Cops. Nicely done. Meanwhile, up towards the front of the field. Young Lane though is closing up. DRS wide open for the Red Bull. He's closing more and more by a couple of tenths. Of course, not close enough to do anything, but that's fine for him. Bumpton, though, meanwhile, is overtaking Lil Mick for fourth. Down the inside he goes. Seemed like a pretty simple, straightforward move. Black Ball down the inside. Oh, he wasn't really close enough to get by the Haas. He has to stay behind there. A little bit, take her easy. As they make their way around Club. A little bit of a train still forming here. 9/10 right now is again the margin between these two. Yellows, that is... Oh, Laquato has spun at the exit and gets a 10-second time. You're joking! He's got a 10-second time penalty for being off the track when he was trying to recover. As Professor Phil spun at entry. Oh dear. That is utterly rubbish. My God. Here comes Flavius. Oh, but he backs out. Oh, that might leave him compromised, though, to Sergeant Bill. He's on the inside. Flavius is the outside. Does the Alfa Romeo get the better run, though? Doesn't. Oh, he looks like it. Yep, he does. He's on the top tire, just noticed, too. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we'll keep the tire graphic up, I guess. Why not? Let's see, DRS wide open for the Red Bull. Same story though, like the lap before, not close enough to attack. But he is building a margin between himself and his teammate. 2.2 seconds. Sequido now gives himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Bompton has gone off the track at the exit of Stowe. He's gone far off the track. Rejoins and gets behind Sub for Lime. Gee whiz, what happened to him, I wonder? Yellows are out again. Oh, that's Rafika, isn't it? Yes, it is. The Williams again has spun. This time at the exit of Stowe. As Aquino now goes into the pit line, probably to get a front wing change. Meanwhile, top two. Still close to one another, but Young Lane isn't close enough to do anything. Black Ball looking to attack the Haas into Brooklyn's down the inside. Can he get him in left field? No, he can't. Not quite. Not just yet. He is on the medium compound tire. Lil Mick is on the hard. Stays in front. The Haas does. They make their way up towards Cop's corner. Oh, getting a little bit compromised there by that dirty air. You don't really necessarily feel much of it in these cars, but it's still kinda there, if we are totally honest. Youngling again, DRS. But again, is not close enough. I think, to be honest, I don't think Youngling wants to do anything just quite yet. Down the inside goes oh, Black Bullet. I said Veritas, sorry. Oh, but Black Bullet gets a bit twitchy there. Here comes Take It Easy to the outside. Trying to get by him, it's a fail, but he runs deep into the corner. He overshoots it. That's going to compromise him. Oh, and Black Bullet nearly on a moment there. Here comes Take It Easy to the outside. He gets in front. Capitalizes on Black Bullet's mistake, and he moves up to 5th. Up the line, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Ouch. Yeah. You do not want to try to get 3-second penalties on a track like this. You don't want to get any penalties on a track like this, where it's utterly close, depending on what the field is like, of course. Let's look at your battery situation. I'm curious to know. About 30% from Youngling, and about 14% for Rebel. So, Youngling has the better advantage in terms of battery. How about Veritas? He's got 43%. Hasn't really used much of it. Oh, yellows are out again. That's Sharky at the exit of Brooklyn to left field. Getting onto the grass. He'll have a little bit of that on his tires. If we can try to clean that off. Hey, up towards now the Vale Chicane. Top 2 separate by 6/10. Black Ball overtaking Take It Easy. Right back. This time it's Stowe, but Take It Easy going for the switchback. That's Stowe. This time heading up towards Vale. Again to the outside. He doesn't overshoot the corner this time. And again to the outside. He gets him. Black Ball tries to counter, but he cannot counter there. Was not close enough. Good little scrap between these two. Definitely will say that. Now Sergeant Bill goes into the pits to get off those soft compound tires. Young Lane, DRS open, of course not close. Not using battery, wisely not using battery. Now you don't want to use battery too much around this track either. Yeah, that's the main thing with DRS trains as well, is that you can definitely save a battery. And it's very easy to do so when you have DRS. When you're at the front of that train, or leading who's following you, it's a bit difficult too, if I'm totally honest. Well, yeah, you can now see Rebel's light is flashing on the back of that Alpine, so he is going to be a little bit vulnerable, I reckon, to Youngling. I think with Youngling seeing that, that's going to bring some a little bit starstruck in his eyes of his DRS, but yet again, will not be close, but he doesn't really want to do so. He doesn't want to attack just yet. Alright, heading up towards now Vale, not close. Oh, hang on. Oh, Rebel's gone into the pits. I'm sorry, I thought he made a mistake. No, he's gone into the pit lane. It's going to be a long, long crawl into the pit lane. Yeah, 37 miles an hour, and the pit lane loss, if I remember correctly, is about, oh, what is it, about 28 seconds? It's very, very long. You're literally just crawling in that pit lane. Hard tires at the go for Rebel. They'll have to try and get those tires, of course, up to temperature. Heading through Village up towards the loop. Black Bull, Take Her Easy. Sorry, Lil Mick, Take Her Easy. Black Bull, Surf. In this little train forming, or still been, actually not forming, but it's been a thing since the start of this restart. Heading up towards now Brooklands into left field. Rebel right now is at 14th, but he has got clear air at least, so he could definitely try to push. But how will this undercut be effective, or overcut I should say, since he was ahead of the Red Bull? Well, that's something we're going to have to find out, aren't we? Foxton running a bit wide. Lil Mick gets a 3-second penalty. That, I believe, is cutting for too much at turn 12, I'm going to say. That's a nice little still shot, just underneath with the camera just mounted on underneath the bridge. That's pretty cool, actually. Jan Lane and Verdis are choosing to stay out. I mean, not surprising with Verdis. Jan Lane sets a new fastest lap in the process of the 1:31.0. So even with this, I think he still got some pace on those medium tires. And into the pit lane goes Surf and Bumpton. They will get off of those mediums and get onto a set of hard compound tires. So yeah, I think this sort of strategy could play. I'm going to say this is probably going to favor Jan Lane from what it's looking like, especially that he just put fastest lap. He's looking like he had some good pace, and it's showing that with him getting fastest lap, especially on 11-lap old mediums. Consider that now we are in the pit window. Rafika gets himself a 3-second penalty. Surf and Bumpton come out in 15th and 16th place. Making their way through Cops Corner. Up towards now Maggots and Beckett's. Take her easy. Little Mitch. Oh, Little Mick. Not Little Mitch. What am I saying? Hey, up towards now the Hanger Straight. Opening the DRS. Won't be close enough to attack. Jan Lane now goes into the pit lane. Star Army gives himself a penalty. Alright. This is the moment of truth. Keep your eyes on that powder blue dot there. He's coming out of Chapel. And Jan Lane is onto a set of hard tires. He's now making his way out of the pit lane. Crawling his way out of the pit lane. Oh, this could be close, I reckon. He had the fastest lap, remember. Rebels coming around club. Where's where's Jan Lane? He's just coming out of the pits. Oh, he's come out in absolute perfection. Also, what didn't help either is that that Rebel stuck by Roden, who was going hard on the brakes there at turn 3. But look at the gap now that Jan Lane's got between himself and Rebel. I'll be back in a second. Alright, I apologize for that. Apparently I got interrupted. But, oh, looks like we got a safety car. Oh, because Bumpton has crashed. He has crashed out apparently, and I obviously wasn't around to see what happened. Yeah, the hard tire is a very hard tire to warm up. So with this safety car then, it's really actually played into Verdis' hands. Because he's now on the medium compound tire, and not only that, he's on the faster tire. So you can get to the end on the race, end of the race from here, for sure. Looks like some other drivers have pitted as well. Of course, little Mick, who's still on highs, is on the mediums. Higgy's gone hard, same with Subfaline. Black Ball, Surf, and 7th or 8th on hards. I think they've been on the stars for a little while, probably while I was away. Stellar Harmony in 9th is on the fresh set of mediums. Sergeant Bill in 10th on 6-lap old hards. Rodin in 11th is on, well, he's just put on a fresh set of mediums. Sparty goes into the pit lane, apparently. Guess he wants to get onto a set of medium tires, I assume. Flavius follows suit as well. But yeah, I do apologize for being temporarily not around. Hopefully I won't have any further interruptions. But yeah, from the way it was going to look, I thought it was just going to be a good solid race for Youngling. Because he got well out in front on Rebel. Because obviously Rebel had to, well, not only A, he had to get his tires warmed up, but he also had to but B, he also had to deal with Rodin behind him. So of course he had the, that sort of to deal with. So we just gotta wait a little bit for the rest of the field to catch up. The Guido gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Well, that's definitely another reason to get a warning. Extending out of cops. Oh, hope to the gods this isn't a late call from the safety car, please. Boshigat is a little ways behind the field. Well, let's see, it's coming up towards the exit of Stowe. Oh, it's gonna be late. Oh boy, is it? No, it isn't. Okay, good. The game decided to be competent at least for 1 second. Alright, we'll do one more lap then. Thank God. Because if that would have happened, right on the chaos. All right. Yeah, this period's taking quite a while. So, once the safety car gets back in, we will have, what, 10 more laps to go? For the checkered flag, of course. And, yeah. But yeah, with Verdis now in the lead, if he does win this race, like I mentioned before, he's about 51 points behind Blockman, who obviously, as you can see, is not racing tonight. As you can see as well, he's on the stream, a little bit shining away. Sergeant Bill and Sal Harvey will overtake each other for some silly reason. Hopefully this doesn't lead into something. Okay, well, Sal Harvey... Well, yeah. You can't really overtake each other during the safety car period, obviously. One of the big rules about that. Alright, the safety car should tell us now when it's coming out. Alright, there we go. It's coming in this lap. So now it's Verdes that will lead the pit field again. And we will get back into green flag racing again. Verdes leads the way, followed by Youngling. So right now it's a Red Bull 1-2. Gonna probably see that quite a bit in real life. Red Bull in third, followed by Lil Mick. Take her easy, sub for line, Black Bull, Surf, starting to build style of harmony. Is he going yet? I think he is. Yes, he is. He's going. But back on the green again here at Silverstone. And Rebel trying to weave about getting temperature into those tires. The car's now filed away around turn 2 up to turn 3 at Village. Already Verdes got a 7.5 margin to his teammate. No, Rebel is spilling the car. Losing the back end of the entry of loop. He spins and tumbles down the order, down to 11th. It cuts a little bit on the outside, rejoins. He's got a Ferrari of Professor Phil to deal with. Down the inside comes Professor Phil, shoots it down the inside. Nicely done, especially with the grip of the mediums. Gee whiz, that's heartbreaking there for Rebel. He had a really good race in Prospect. That little spin there costed him. I wonder if he might have locked up the rear axles. I wonder, I've done that mistake before. I have a suspicion he did that. But Verdes, meanwhile, he's got a 1.5 second lead to his teammate. He's looking very good as we speak. Making the most of those medium compound tires. Lil Mick, though, might apply the pressure to Verdes' teammate in front. Sorry about that. Again, interrupted. But meanwhile, nothing really has changed. You did see Verdes just set the new fast lap. What did he do, actually? I didn't quite catch that. He did a 1:30.4. He's about 2.4 seconds up the road to Youngling. That's Lil Mick. Take her easy. There's still a little bit of gap starting to form, just a little bit. Yeah, I know this is not the first time I've been interrupted and where I go silent. I do apologize for that as well. Just, that bit's just a little bit out of my control. Alright, A through the Maggots at Beckett chicane. Or the S's, sorry. And up towards now the hair straight as Sharky and someone else got a penalty as well. I think that was Roden that got a penalty. No DRS enabled, of course. They'll be enabled on the next lap. Yeah, Verdes building up a 3-second margin already to his teammate. Looking very, very racy so far. Sergeant Bill, 3-second penalty, multiple warnings. It must have happened at Stowe Corner. Verdes, another fastest lap, a 1:29.8. As Professor Phil saw Harmony around the outside, goes the Ferrari. There he goes. Rebel tries to counter as well. He gets by the Alfa Romeo. Does the Alfa fight back? Not quite. Leclerc gets himself another penalty for multiple warnings. Oh, gee whiz. The Alfa Romeo nearly clocks the back of the Alpine, it looked. Then I'll make the way down towards the Wellington straight. Rebel not close enough to attack here. Down the inside. Oh, I think that was a Mercedes there going down the inside. It was. Of Sharky trying to get by the Alpha Tauri of Roden. Oh, but he nearly loses the back end there, the ace in the left field. Making their way on towards Woodcut. Up towards turn 9. So far keeping it tidy at least. Rafika, a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. Lil Mick also will get DRS on Youngling. He needs to get by him as quickly as possible, though, if he wants any sort of chance of trying to get second place. But if he has, if he does that, he obviously needs to get by Yummy and build up a 3-second penalty. Oh, build margin, sorry. And here comes Sharky to the inside. Down into Stowe to the inside. Oh, they backed out, it looked like. I think. Sharky and Ron had a bit of a moment. Here comes the Williams of Rafika. To the inside. Oh, they clock to each other. And here comes Smarty. Makes the move done. By a male chicane. That was a bit of an unorthodox way of overtaking, if I'm totally honest. Mercedes of the AlphaTauri close. Oh, close enough! Oh, and Sharky sagged the back, and the Mercedes have tagged each other! And another car's gone off as well. Another one there. Who was that? That's the Quito, I believe, is it? There were 3 or 4 cars out of there, but both of them were the Mercedes. Sharky and Sparty have come to blows. They're at turns 3 and 4. Well, oh my goodness me. Liquido overtakes Motion God to the inside of there at turn 4. Star Harmony, 3-second penalty. Black Baller right now trying to close up on Subfaline. Subfaline trying to close up on Take Her Easy, who does not have a penalty. Well, I was going to say doesn't have a penalty. I remember that Little Mick has a penalty. But looks like he is not gaining, though, on Youngling. Doesn't really gain much time to get close to him. Although he is at risk of losing the podium. Professor Bill, contact between him and the Alfa Romeo Sergeant Bill. Yellow flags are out at the back with some. Oh, but there's now going to be yellow flags because the two have come to blows. Sergeant Bill tags the right-hand side of the Ferrari, and as a result, he's tumbled down to 11th. At least we get a bit of action in the midfield, I suppose. Gotten at least 6 more laps left into this race. Verdes looking very comfortable right now. 3.6 seconds to his teammate. Definitely on course for a Red Bull 1-2 as it stands at the moment. I don't think yet in this series, I don't think we've had a team that has gone 1-2 in this championship. Sharky, meanwhile, gives himself a 3-second penalty. At least as far as I'm concerned. Look at the penalties we got, though. 3 seconds from Little Mick, 3 seconds from Subfaline, 6 seconds for Style Harmony, and then 3 seconds. I'll make that 9 seconds for Style Harmony as he runs wide. Oh, here comes Rebel. Oh, gee whiz. Rebel trying to close up. He will get DRS. He is really slamming on those brakes. DRS enabled. Doesn't look like the Alfa Romeo can do much. And there goes the Alpine into 9th. Ahead of Style Harmony. Yeah, I was going to say to Sergeant Bill, 3 seconds. Rafika, 9 seconds. And the biggest winner of the Molaquito has 22 seconds worth of time penalties. Jesus. Sharky with 6 and then Rowan with 3. I mean, to be fair though, that 10-second penalty that he got though when he ran wide at, or when he went off at Club was absolutely rubbish. Brooklyn's into left field. 4.3 seconds now is the margin between Youngling and Verdes. Left field and now heading up towards Woodcut and down towards Cops Corner. Black Ball trying to close up. You do see the flashy red light on the back of the McLaren. Black Ball has got plenty of battery to use. Although I don't think he wants to go for any sort of overtake. Actually, maybe not. He did turn on the battery a little bit, then he turns it back off. Hang on. Alright, sorry I keep getting... Honestly, I keep getting interrupted here. Alright, so, let's see if anything's happened. Looks like nothing really in particular has happened. I have seen Rebel, though. Looks like he's moved up the field just a little... Has he moved up the field a little bit, or... Oh, yellow flies out again. Oh, well, that's Rafika that spot, hasn't it? Or was that... No, that was Rebel. He had a moment there coming out of club. Alright. So make the way around Abbey into farm. Looks like Black Bull now on the back of the Alpine as they make the way around the village into the loop and to Aintree down the Wellington straight very shortly. It's right now a 4.8 second margin between Jan Lane and Veritas. Yeah, pretty much Veritas has got this win in the bag unless he makes a mistake. Or somehow those tires give in, but obviously that ain't gonna happen. Alright, through Maggots and Beckett's, take her easy. Right now on the back of Lil Mick, on course for a podium here. Does not have a penalty to his name, doesn't really need to do anything in particular. Sergeant Bill overtaking his teammate there at Maggots and Beckett's. Sorry. Alright, here we go. Let's see what we got. We're about 2 more laps left into the race. We got 4.5 seconds separate between Varys and Youngling. Take her easy, still on the back of Lil Mick. Surfing while still hovering the back of Professor Phil. Yeah, otherwise everyone seems like they're relatively spread out as we speak. But so far it has been a solid race though for Red Bull. What looked like though initially was going to be, I probably would have said a victory for Youngling, but instead it's going to look like a victory for Veritas. Let's see. Has he won any races so far? I think he has. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. He won the last race. That's Australia. One of the dramatic final few. One of the most dramatic races I've ever witnessed in my commentary career in F1 racing. Liquido, another penalty. That's that. What? How is that? How is that? 20? How many is that? 25. 28 seconds. My God, Liquido, you really need to work on your track limits. Alright, we're on to the final lap. So far, Veritas has got this one pretty much pen in pocket. Yeah, sorry about all the little pauses there. Me being out commentating. Why, hang on a minute, take her easy. Overtaking Lil Mick. The inside of turn 3. Now got the move done. There you go. The Ferrari now moves himself up to third. He wants to do it on track. He doesn't want to do it based off of penalties. Maybe he wants to do that to make sure that Lil Mick doesn't get that penalty removed, just in case. Which, I mean, that's totally fair enough. But yeah, Veritas last week in the most dramatic rate. Alright, through Stowe. It seems like it's been a one good drive from Veritas. He's got 3 more turns to negotiate. Round Vale, up to Club, and through the final turn, he'll cross the start-finish line, and he'll take home the British Grand Prix. It's now back-to-back victories for the Red Bull driver. Jan Lane takes second, and take her easy. On track will claim third. Just claim third. Lil Mick in 4th, Subfalime in 5th, Professor Phil in 6th, Surf in 7th. Oh, what could have been though for Red Bull though if he did not make a mistake at the loop, spinning out at the entry of the loop. Very unfortunate. Gets demoted to 9th thanks to penalties. Black Bowler gets promoted to 8th. Sergeant Bill 10th. Flavius moves up to 11th. Getting Style Harmony off of penalties. Rodin, Sharky, Rafika claims the final point scoring spot as Motion God gives himself a 3-second penalty. Sparty 16th. And then the last of the remaining drivers will be Laquito and Motion God. But yeah, like I mentioned, I do apologize though for some moments where I had to like go off. I kept getting interrupted, but it's fine. It's just something that was just a little out of my control. Hopefully it didn't mess up the stream too much. But yeah, no, nice victory though for Veritas. Back-to-back victories, and also this helps him in the Drivers' Championship. He'll now be 21 points behind Blockman in the Drivers' Championship. And also, this will help Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship, getting a 1-2. Very nicely done as well. And I think they'll be ahead of, I think they'll be closer to McLaren now in the Constructors' Championship. But there we are. Race done. Driver of the day goes to Rafika. We'll see how many places he gained over the course of this race. Alright, and in the end, Veritas through the corridor will now make his way up to the podium. A very fine performance for Red Bull. It could have been a victory for Youngling, maybe if the last safety car did not come out. But Veritas, I mean, for the sake of the Drivers' Championship, did what he needed to do. He kept his head calm and just took victory. Very nicely done. By at least both of the drivers. Then take her easy. Getting a podium finish. Very nicely done as well. His first podium of the season. Not a bad effort by the Mexican. After starting in 8th, finishing in 3rd. Meanwhile, there are your unofficial results for this British Grand Prix. Veritas claims the win. Youngling in 2nd. Take her easy 3rd. They'll make 4th, followed by Subfaline, Professor Phil, Surf, Black Bowler, Rebel, Sergeant Bill, Flavius, Solid Harmony, Sharky, Rafika, Sparty, Motion God, Laquito, and your retirees, Bumpton and Yun Tuki. So yeah. There we are. British Grand Prix. And yeah, like I said, I do apologize for that whole little bit of pause moments and not catching a lot of the action. Like I mentioned, nothing I could have done. Just out of my control. If your family needs you, your family needs you. So, that's just basic. It's always first priority. Anywho. Well, I think that'll wrap it up here for this stream. It's been a very interesting race. Not a bad race, though, I will say, overall. Not a very bad one. Actually turned out to be a pretty decent race overall. But congratulations to the Red Bull team, to Young Lane and Veritas. Veritas getting the win, the 2nd in a row. Now closing on the Drivers' Championship to Blockman. This will also make him now 3rd in the Drivers' Championship as well, mathematically. So, also, since we've got Easter next week, we will not be back here next week. So, we will be waiting 2 more weeks until we head off to, where are we at? We're France. Yeah, we're France. Alright, so, till then, I've been Katie1997. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you for round 11 of the championship at the Circuit Paul Ricard. And actually, will be the final time we'll probably race at Circuit Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. Until then, goodbye, everybody.